Let's talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Ladies and
Good
gentlemen,
morning, America.
Episode 4D5.
we're back.
We're
Full
back.
fives we already
Better
tipped.
than ever.
Better than ever.
Better than ever.
Doing what we do best.
The 45th time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
A whole
Yes,
week.
sir.
A whole week I haven't seen you guys.
I
We just get together for this little shit.
we actually work
podcast.
remote.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Company
a
culture
green
this, company
screen.
culture that. Yeah, I'm from home.
Yeah, there's 1 hour a week where we come into film content.
Yeah.
Episode 45, guys. Big a day, big topic, big episode. We're happy you're here with us. Thank you for tuning in.
Big gong.
Big gong.
Big
Yeah,
gong.
big
Big
brought the
gong,
gong back
big
out.
office, big Lex sign,
Yeah.
Big
decent
achievements.
sized plaque.
Decent size black.
Abby, you want to show this bad boy off?
I really do. I mean, this thing is unreal. Look at this thing. I'm going to this camera. 100,000 YouTube subscribers.
Wow.
Can
Wow.
you see yourself in that thing?
Clap it
Can
up.
you see yourself in that thing?
Nobody else is gonna clap for you but yourself.
Thank you,
know?
guys.
Clap it up, boys.
You know,
Toss a pound on the back, too. Yeah. We did it, boys.
Agreed.
Yeah.
amazing accomplishment. I mean, it's absolutely insane to me. I never thought I'd see one of these things in real life.
Me
No.
neither. I
Really
never thought we'd
never
be
did.
YouTubers.
No.
No. Successful ones at that too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's unreal. We put out some great content. I've always put out content myself. I'm a big fan of content, but it's really neat. It's kind of surreal.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I can't wait for the millionth
I
plaque.
know. It's going to be a
Yeah.
nice
That
one.
diamond.
That's what's
That
the,
is gonna be heavy.
Oh, that's not the
Yeah.
diamond. The
I think
100
it's the
million's the
gold.
diamond.
the 100 million's the
No, I
diamond.
think that's like the red one. Like they just came out with like a red one for 100 million because only Mr. Beast and that's that Indian video T series. Yeah, I think they're the only guys that have the red
Wow.
ones. Yeah. Or
Well,
like
Mr. Beast, you know what we say.
We're coming
at
for
you.
it.
Coming for you.
Coming for you. I think though the 100,000, I think it's coupled with how great you guys are at what you do. I think the topics that we talk about, I think are really good. I think they're educational, informative, funny. Finance is obviously really good, and obviously our marketing team, Remy T, you guys do a great job. Jared included, do a really great job of editing the podcast, filming the podcast, making sure that we are set up and ready to go and are ready to perform for you guys on a daily basis. So shout out everybody. Obviously, YouTube is a team sport.
Thank you,
It's
team.
like football.
Oh, yeah.
It takes 11 to run the show to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that leads me into what this episode's going to be about.
What's it going to be about?
It's going to be about
What's it gonna be about,
it's going to be about how content is king, guys.
Oh.
Content is king inside
this
of
right here?
business. Yeah, this is part of content.
is content.
This is the type of content. We're going to dive into different types of content, where to post content, why it's advantageous for your business, and especially nowadays in modern times. But before we dive into that, let's do a quick 9/11 tribute. That's coming up tomorrow. We film our podcast on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 9/11. We post it on Friday, so you're going to see this a little late. But from all of our hearts over here, at Lexington, not even just us here, we mourn all the losses of everybody who lost their lives that day. Thank you so much to every police officer, firefighter, anyone in our armed forces who came and protected their citizens and pulled a lot of people out of there that day. It really means a lot, and we'll never forget. We'll never forget.
Never forget.
And all the families who had anything to do with your family member who got affected by 9/11 as well. God bless everybody.
Yes. Thank you guys for the help, and we definitely, our deepest condolences.
Absolutely. On a lighter note.
Yeah.
Yes.
On a lighter note, one more thing before you do your amazing, beautiful intro. This is our 1-year anniversary of being inside this beautiful office. So
Yeah.
another
It is.
clap up, clap up. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about a little earlier before the episode, we didn't have this big gong.
Nope.
We didn't have this big sign. We didn't have all 10,000 square feet. We just had one side of everything. We had 15 employees. Now we have 45 or 46 employees. So the growth within this last year was insane. I thought the growth within our first 2 years was really cool and badass. And, we just topped it. And I think we're going to talk about how we topped it again, in a year from now. So, very excited what the future holds for this company. And, I'm just really happy that, the place that we're at. And I think it just has a lot to do with our team and, all the effort that we put in, the blood, sweat, tears, and how much you guys truly care about this company.
100%.
Absolutely.
If you check
And you're
out
all
our-
going to be able to watch it because we're going to be contenting it.
It's true.
This is true.
It's true.
It's cool too when you talked about like the growth. Like if you look at our Instagram, more content, you'll see a picture from me like the year ago today to now, and it's like seeing the team like actually like double. Like it's a cool look, like wow, like that actually happened. Like living day to day, like you don't like like, yes, we're hiring people, we're growing, but like you don't like take a second to like realize that until you look at side by side pictures, and it's a whole nother thing. You know, it's humbling to see. It's
like Arnold Schwarzenegger looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, every single day, and then he looks back at a pic when he was 18. He's like, "Oh, I did make some progress." But Tom, do your thing, baby. Do your thing.
Without further ado,
Uh-huh.
my name is Thomas McCauley, your head of business development. To my left, I have.
Frank Grislawando, the COO.
Frankie D, CEO.
Happy Fragaletti, Director of Banking Relations. And Louie, our CHO.
And now, introducing the #1 content creators in the world, Lexington Capital!
Go!
You couldn't have introduced it any better.
I never get tired of doing that.
We are not just the Capital Kings, but the Content Kings.
That as well.
Content Capital
The
King.
past year or
Content
so, I've
capital.
lost my voice so many times, and I just don't. I don't stop.
You got
No,
the
you don't,
calluses
yeah.
built up. You're
Yeah.
ready to do it. Yeah. One funny thing, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the gong when you did your woo and you did the thing, it like resonates. It's so much bigger than the other one. I love it. It's
this
so
one's
nice.
badass.
Yeah.
Definitely
this
shakes the
one.
whole.
Wow.
I don't think they're gonna hear that. But,
As you're holding
oh,
it.
you ruined
Remy
Remy's
all
ear.
of it. Remy.
Sorry, Remy.
That thing definitely shakes the whole second floor.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my God! In the mornings, I can't even imagine.
I
them
couldn't
downstairs.
imagine either. I couldn't
During our
imagine.
morning meetings.
Nuts.
They get fun.
Yeah.
They
Some good
definitely do.
content.
It is some good content. So, guys, I mean, let's dive into the topic here. So, content is king inside of business and inside of building a brand. And I think that a lot of old school marketing, tactics and schemes are kind of getting thrown out the window, and content is getting, thrown into here. And obviously, there's only a few different ways to generate leads and create new customers and create partnerships and affiliates. And I think the biggest way nowadays really is through content, especially depending on the business that you're inside of. I think it's essential. I think it's crucial. I think it's something that's not going to necessarily ROI you on day one, month one, possibly 6 months, possibly a year, possibly 3, 4, 5 years. It's definitely possible, especially depending on the industry that you're in. But I think over the long haul, you got to realize that this is the way that life is kind of bringing us. This is the way that business is bringing us. The way that I see it right now, our median age that we fund people is about 53 and a half. Eventually these people are going to sell off their businesses. They're going to retire. They're going to give the business down to their son. There's going to be kids our age who are opening up businesses who are one day going to be 30, 40, 50, 60, who have been on social media since they've been 10, 11, 12 years old, and they're used to seeing content and buying things from seeing content. And I think that if we just play the long-term game right now, even if we're not necessarily making the best ROI off of it, I think that in 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're really going to be thanking ourselves for doing what we did now in regards to the content.
No, absolutely. I mean, like you said, that's what really propels your company to the next level in so many different ways, like you said, with clients, but even for, the people at home who are interested in finance, but they don't really know how this side lives. Everyone loves the movies, the Boiler Rooms, the Wolf of Wall Streets, but they don't really get to see the ins and the outs and the fun and the environment of how we really exist. And it's great insight to be able to have that content and really show how we operate.
Absolutely.
Content can make you feel like more familiar too with a company. Like sometimes I'll find myself like scrolling like on like a company's page for a little bit, like on Instagram, and like I'm like 30, 40 posts deep, and it's like, oh, like I feel like I enjoy that company. Like I'm with them, I like their content, I like what they're doing, and it's like I wouldn't buy some of the stuff. Like I get on some weird pages, it's just like Remy and I send each other like construction, like glue and bondings. Like I'll just watch them, like, oh, that's how that works. And I like the company, I like the page, the content's good. I will never use the application in my life, but they'll get views for me. So like just something as simple as that. I sent it to my dad. He's a mechanic, so I was like, here, look at this product. They got a referral from someone who doesn't even use it. But that's how powerful content can be.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I love sending all the construction stuff that I see to my father as well, because my father's a contractor, and he's old school. He's not on Instagram and TikTok and all that crap. No offense, Instagram and TikTok. And I hope you to get some good use out of it every once in a while. Yeah. I mean, my goal as whenever I was shooting content back in the day, especially for real estate, was always to be a household name.
Yeah.
And I definitely think I accomplished that, becoming a household name. It's my goal to put something out there that's creative enough, funny enough, educational enough, to the point where you're sitting around the dinner table with your family, and you mention it. That's it. Oh, you see that video Appio posted? Or you see that video the Lexington Capital Holdings posted? Oh, that was funny. Or wow, that was really creative, and that got me hooked for a second. Or that was really informative, and I actually followed through and listened to some of their advice that they gave. Becoming that household name was always my goal, and what turns into ROI as it brings back the bucks as well.
Yeah, I mean, being the household name, it accomplishes so much. It, as you said, it returns the ROI. Like once you get to a certain level, like in your company life, having like good content will build, cyclical sales, and just build sales off that. You don't have to sell as much. You don't have to, push forward as much. You can draw in, and like that's like what's really cool about content. The more you brand yourself, the better you are, the better you're out there, noticeable, seeable. It brings people in. It's just a good look having good content. And I used to watch some of your stuff. It's awesome.
And it is funny too now. Pretty much everywhere I go, if I'm hanging out with my friends or like you said, my family, or even when we go to networking events, that's the first thing that they talk to me about. They talk about our Facebook videos, our LinkedIn, our TikTok, and our YouTube. Mm-hmm. And it's cool because now, like you say, I mean, it's exposure. Everyone knows what you do. Kind of how like, if I'm not mistaken, when you're an insurance agent, like they give you the book and you're supposed to call like 100 people just to tell them what they do.
Yeah.
We don't really have to do that just because of the videos that we put out. They know exactly what we do for the most part. Yep. So it just adds a deeper level of exposure into everyone.
Yeah, I hated that when I was training to be a financial advisor with New York Life. Write down a list of 100 people and call every single one of them and pitch them and tell them what you do. And I hated that.
Yep.
Hated that.
Yeah. No, that was
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Not a fun time with
earning that license. You gotta do.
Yeah, no, 100%. What's cool too with our content is that we do it so strategically that like it's always just out there. As you said, like they're always talking about all the different view outlets. I was talking with one of our reps the other day, and I was like, "Why don't you follow our page?" He's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I see your content literally everywhere." He's like, 30 different angles and accounts. He's like, "There's no way I don't follow the page." And he's like, "Oh wait, no, I do." And I was like, "Yeah, you actually better do." He's like, "It was on my other account." I'm like, "Of course it was." But yeah, I mean, my partner, he follows the page. Content's king. I mean, he says it's everywhere, and like that's a good look. You want to see that. Even if he wasn't following it, he was still seeing it. Yeah. That's the goal accomplished. It's our branding, it's our look, it's our image. You can easily figure out what we do.
Yeah. In business, you want to play the long-term game.
Yeah.
And content right now currently is the long-term game. And as much as our sales team goes out and they make the sales right now and they're keeping us afloat and they're keeping us in business, building the brand, building the name, building the image is what's going to keep us in business for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years. So I think the fact that we're putting a lot of time and effort into our marketing and branding and content is really, really, really huge. I think that we had one episode where we talked about, smaller businesses versus bigger businesses, like startups versus corporations. Yeah. And content is huge in making yourself look bigger and appearing bigger to an audience. And I think that's something that we did a really good job of in the beginning. And I think we were able to earn a lot of better partnerships, a lot of affiliates. We were able to take on better lending partners and develop a lot better relationships because we were putting ourselves out there and we were showing that we were even bigger than what we are. We were researching topics. We were making ourselves sound very credible, like-minded, so that people wanted to do business with us. And it's true from what you said is that people get like a connection with somebody that they physically see, like imagine like listening to the Yankees back in the day on the radio, young Colodrel, and then when he was finally able to see them on TV for the first time, like that's definitely a different type of feeling. Or that's why people are so like urgent to go to games, I think, in my opinion, is because they want to see their star player, their favorite player, like the guy they idolize in person. Like it's just a different type of feel. And it's the same thing with content. One little side story. Remember when we were at one of the Salesforce events, and some guy comes up to us like telling us that he watched our podcast, whatever, and he's like, I already know everything about Appio. He's like, he's a dog. I don't have to meet Appio to know he's a dog. I was like, dude, dog is not even freaking the word to describe this man, dude. And like he felt a connection with you and he doesn't even know you, dude. You don't even know him.
I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
But something as simple as, like putting out a podcast, people get to sit there, watch an hour or, half hour.
They feel like they know us.
Yeah. They sit with us every Friday and they hear about our lives and our BS.
It's true.
It's like being part of the company.
That's true.
People find solace in that. There's a comfort. It's awesome.
And there's two things you could do on social media nowadays, guys. Like you could either consume content or you could produce content. So it's like, which one are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and scroll on your phone all day long, or are you going to be the person who is having people scroll and seeing your stuff everywhere? So I think that social media can either be very detrimental to a business or it can be very advantageous to a business. It just depends if you take advantage of it or not.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is I was at one of the rare occasions where I went out to a bar recently, and I run into this dude, and he's like, "Are you the guy from Let's Talk About It? Are you Appio?"
Oh yeah.
And we ended up hiring the guy for less than a week. Saturday rolled around. Turns out Turns out he doesn't like to
guys don't
work.
work Saturdays.
Corporate guys don't work Saturdays, so that was short lived. But that was pretty awesome getting recognized at a bar. Like, holy crap, are you the guy from Lex? Talk
Yeah,
about
That was
it.
cool.
Made
It's
my
cool
night.
when, you know, like you get like a little bit bigger in the recognition, you know, like we're not in it for the recognition, we're in it for, you know, the brand awareness,
Yeah.
but like it's cool, like, you know, those like it's a little perk, you know, like
That's
you go out
brand
to a bar
awareness.
and someone sees you, like
Definitely.
you put out good content, you
Yeah.
know.
And you get to see that we're not that serious all the time. You know
No.
what I mean? We'll put out a funny TikTok. You know, we have the podcast. I mean, we joke around a lot here, but it's a little bit more serious than like a goofy voiceover TikTok video where you get
Yeah.
to see a lot of personality come out of us, or just the clips of the morning meeting, or even the webinars. All the different forms of content really show every end of kind of what Lexington is.
It's true. I think right now with our content, I think it helps more with partners wise,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of the business owners that we deal with, they're just older gentlemen or older women, so they're not necessarily on it, nor do they necessarily care about it as much. But our partners, I think they're more younger, and if they're not, if they're a little older, they're a little more savvier with like technology and stuff like that, because they're in our space and they're in accounting or whatever, another finance industry. So I think it really is good for them because they get to meet us, like we said, like virtually in like a lot of different ways, and they see our company culture. They see all these different events that we go to, that we're very good to our people, that we take care of them, that we like to have fun, that we're serious at the same exact time, that we offer all these different products and programs. And I think it really makes them feel comfortable with wanting to work with us. Because what's weird about our industry, for whatever godforsaken reason, people don't like to put out content and they don't like to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
We are the exact opposite. You know, we want to be in your face. We want you to see us every single day. First thing you think of when you wake up, first thing you think of when you go to sleep. And we were at the last debanked event. Tom was there, and this guy was like, "Yo," he's like, "I'm gonna pull up my LinkedIn right now." He's like, "I bet you $100 you guys pop up on like the first scroll down." And like, sure enough, like one little scroll, boom, Lexington right there. And then showed me like somebody else from our company in their DMs, you know, trying to get them on as a partner.
Just one?
Just one, yeah, just one. Yeah.
It was really cool too because I wasn't wearing really anything that screamed Lexington. I was wearing an all black suit with just a red tie.
Yep.
And people were coming up to me, Lexington. I
That's
love
the brand.
I love the videos.
Yeah.
It was great, and it opens a lot of more conversation. Like you said, someone's more comfortable speaking with me because they are familiar with me and familiar with the brand, rather than if it was just kind of like a cold approach at a networking
Yeah.
event. So it definitely made it a lot warmer the entire time,
Yeah, it gives
which
somebody
is
to
very
talk
advantageous for networking.
So for, like, for myself, being very client facing at the moment, I've noticed that our podcast and our content is really it is really helpful for earning these clients' trust. A quick example: we had one client, or have one client, who was we were in competition with some competitor who dropped their draws on their deal, and I ended up sending these people. I spoke with them for a long time. I sent them the link to our YouTube, and literally the next day they ended up signing with us over the other competitor who dropped their draws commission down in half. They just trusted us and wanted to work with us so much. That and I think that content is just showing, like, yeah, we have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I sent them the link. They probably watched a few videos that night, and I think that it's just huge for earning your clients' trust as well, especially if you're in a different type of industry that not as many people are used to.
Yeah, it's true. Well, our industry people don't put out content, so the fact that we're like one of those few people who do and who care about it and who put time and effort into it, it goes a long way. And one thing about content as well is that it's going to be your cheapest form of lead generation, which is cool in a sense, but it is going to be your biggest time taker, I guess you
Yeah.
call it time taker. You got to put a lot of time and effort into content, into what you're going to produce. You definitely need a marketing team in order to do that. Something that would be really tough if I feel like I had to take a step back as the CEO and like put together content for the company. So it's definitely
One thing, as you mentioned earlier too, like helping with the branding for the generations, like next, like every day, like, a new group of people turn 18. Every day, a new person opens up another business. So, in our industry with financing, like these new business owners who are just turning 18, they're going to need money one day, whether it's now, whether it's a year from now, whether it's 10 years from now. And, we're still going to be putting out that content. We're going to be a relative name on our platforms. And, that's just only going to help us because we started now, because we started when we first started, and it's going to be like, oh, I'm 25 now. I started my business 6 years ago and I've been following these Lexington guys. Like, I need financing, like, let me talk to them. Like, I know that Appio guy. I've watched, I like him on the podcasts, or, I like seeing Louis in the videos, and it helps, helps it for the long run. It really does. Every day there's new opportunities, and content helps, capture them in.
And even for new people in our industry, there's almost no guidance in our industry how to work, how to sell it, how to grow in this industry. And they get to look up to us in a way and be able to open up their own broker shops or get into their own respected financial industries and be able to have some sort of an idol to look up to, or a quote unquote guru who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, or become just even slightly educated enough to be confident to reach out and want to be a referral partner.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that's watching this right now could realistically make money from Lexington because they know somebody in their life that wants to open a business, owns a business, or anything of the sort. And you know, putting this content out there makes it known to people that they can make money. I mean, your barber knows somebody. Your barber sees people every single day. We had a referral partner from one of our guys' barber today. Like, it's every single person out there sees these videos now, knows that they can make money doing what they normally do, just making a referral as well.
I really love it too, because it definitely boosts the company culture quite a bit. Because like you say all the time, dude, sales is grueling. You're getting your face kicked in 99.99% of the time, and then you get the marketing team coming up to you like, "Hey, come here real quick." We actually did that the other day. We sat in there and we did the like who's more likely to, and it was funny. I was having a shitty day, you know. I got to sit there and giggle a little bit and have a little bit of fun, and then you watch the video later and it feels good. You know, it makes the staff happy.
Yeah, it definitely does.
One thing too, you know, like when you're starting out the content, like it can be a little intimidating at first, but you know, for any new business owners or whatever, just start, because it really breaks down to like anything. It's repetition, you know. So the first, you know, picture you post, the first video you do might not be the best, but it's going to be, you know, substantially different than the 50th and the 10th, you know, than the 100th video that you're posting a picture, you know. It's just, you got to get the reps in, you got to start and just keep going, you know. Like, don't force yourself not to take weeks off. It's like going to the gym, you know, like you're going to see results after a while, but you gotta start going to the gym, you know. You got to start posting, figure out a good regimented schedule, keep on task, and make sure you post on those days, because, you know, you miss a day and it's like, oh, I got to post the next day, and then it messes up your schedule for the next week, and, you know, then you're just spiraling. But, you know, if you just have to start.
It's like anything in life. You got to be consistent. You got to post every day, multiple times a day, on every single platform, all day, every day.
Yeah.
And you can't stop. And it's got to be a mixture of funny, a mixture of educational, informative, witty. You just got to be an expert in your field, and you got to just constantly educate the masses. And if people think of you as a thought expert inside of your field, they're then going to feel comfortable with going to you and trying out your product or service, or partnering with you, or becoming an affiliate with you or your company. But like Grizzly said, like, just do it and don't stop doing it, and just do it every day and every day and every day and every day and every day. And just like with this company, we came here, we worked every single day, you know, even when we were a 4-figure company, you know, and still came in and worked and worked and worked and worked, and got to 5 figures and worked and worked and worked, and 6 figures and worked 7, and so on and so forth. So it's the same exact thing. It's like, you can't expect to have thousands or millions of views your first post. It's not going to happen. You got to build your brand. It's a long-term game. Mr. Beast took like 12 years to blow up.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the biggest guy.
You got to be ready to step immediately out of your comfort zone too. I'll never forget when we were talking about starting the podcast, like the webinars, and I was sitting there, I was having a great day. Frankie comes up to me, he was like, "You excited for your webinar on Wednesday?" I was like, "What? What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you're doing it." I've never been a picture person. I don't take pictures. I don't take videos. And Frankie's like, "Yeah, you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it. Like, why not? It'll be fun." And it ended up being a lot of fun. I love doing the webinars. I love doing the podcast. It's funny to see myself on camera, but like, I like it.
Yeah.
And like my family
You get
loves
used to it.
Yeah.
You get used to it. I like studying myself. Like, I definitely like stare at myself throughout the whole entire podcast when I watch it, because that's how you can improve your content that you put out as well. It's like, literally just like, watch yourself. Instead of going out and watching some other guy's content, like, just watch yours and see how you act and how you approach, and like your delivery and your voice and changing high to low. And I think it's just important to study yourself, just like anything else. Like, if you're going to study your pitch in sales, like, why would you not study like how you go about your content? So constantly just always study yourself with your content and improve upon that.
And like, you don't always need to be like, some people like just straight up don't like being in videos, you know, and that's okay. There's multiple different types of content you put out, you know. You can make an Instagram page and just put out slides, you know, and as long as it's good, clean, sharp, it draws attention, has good material to it, you'll build a following. You know, people will want to check out what you're posting and, you know, like see your content. You know, like, you don't have to be, "Hey guys, it's Frank over at, you know, whatever, here's my, you know, take on today." Like, it doesn't always have to be that. You know, some people don't want to do that, and you can post anything and it can be good. It's all about, you know, the repetitions and getting it solid. You know, and as you said too, with watching yourself, like, set up a camera if you want to be, you know, on the video. Set up a camera, do 5 takes, watch them. You know, you'll see different things that you like, that you didn't like, and, you know, on that 6th take, whether you like it or not, post that one. You know, because that's going to get you started. You know, and then you just keep getting better from there.
I mean, so back to how much you have to post and you have to stay so consistent with it. I know the saying used to be, you have to get in front of somebody's face, you have to have 7 touches 7 touches before somebody's willing to convert into a sale. Personally, I feel like that number's gone up with how much content gets consumed on the daily.
Yeah.
At least up to 14. And that's a big reason why I think it is so important to consistently post every single day. You're not being annoying. People will either watch it or they won't watch it. It's as simple as an extra click. One tap. Post the videos as many times as possible. Post the Instagrams, everything. Now, what are your guys' favorite platforms to post on where you think we get the most ROI for us specifically here?
So for us specifically, it's definitely LinkedIn, just because of the pure fact that we deal with professionals on a daily basis, with partners and with business owners. LinkedIn is, if you guys don't know, it's literally a Facebook for business owners and for professionals. So all financial advisors are on there, people who own businesses, attorneys, lawyers, that's the same thing, accountants, they're all on there. So I'd say LinkedIn's going to be like our number one.
Yeah.
And I'd say number 2 is probably just going to be Instagram, because everybody's on Instagram. I take that back. Facebook is going to be our number
There you
2,
go.
because we have a lot of older people who are
On Facebook.
obviously, and that's who we fund and who we mostly work with. So I say Facebook, and then Instagram number 3, just because everyone's on Instagram.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Oh,
I was
sorry.
gonna say LinkedIn's interesting too, because there's a lot of different companies that interact with us that have nothing to do with us at all. They just enjoy
Yes.
it,
Yes.
and it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah. I think they want to put out the content that we do. They just don't know where to start necessarily, and they look at us as like a thought leader. You know,
We're so
an
intimidating.
industry and expert. We're definitely intimidating, dude. I mean, for one, we have the most aggressive color known to mankind, red.
The best color.
Red. So it's like red just stands out for one. For two, we're in your face every day. We're posting every day. We post not just for the company page multiple times a day, but all of our employees who in their profile picture are wearing a red shirt is posted multiple times a week. So I think, especially if you have a bigger marketing budget to build out, like you should also be posting on your employee stuff and help them build a brand, and that could go a long way.
What do you think in, like, let's call it 10 years from right now? How do you think our matrix will reverse? Because I think LinkedIn will always be up top, but I feel like it might be like Instagram, TikTok.
I was
Or
thinking
TikTok,
that
Instagram,
before.
Facebook.
I think it's going to stay the same exact way.
You think so?
I think it's going to stay the same exact way. I love consuming content on Facebook.
Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds. I mean, it's a Twitter and Instagram combined.
Essentially, yeah.
They're adding all the same things. You can do stories. You could do reels. If you want to watch a reel like a TikTok, you can watch it on Facebook. But LinkedIn is for professionals, so that's the market. We work with professionals.
Yeah.
Contractor, you're not always working with professionals. You're working with people,
Yeah.
with consumers.
AKA
So
Facebook.
I think Facebook.
Yeah.
I personally think it's going to stay the same exact way as far as the algorithm goes, or whatever I'm trying to say there.
You know, it's funny. I forget because like I don't really touch Facebook too much for some reason. I just moved over to the other platforms, but not TikTok. But yeah, no, it really is just like a mega platform, as you said.
Mega.
It has reels, it has stories, it has posts, it has videos.
Facebook
you know,
Marketplace.
It has you could sell. It has a freaking dating portion now. You can.
What?
Yeah, dude. It has a
So you got Tinder, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter all in one.
Yep. Yeah, they're
And eBay?
literally they're taking over the whole thing in just one master platform.
Government, that's a monopoly.
One big thing that I especially love that you do is that you, as the CEO, film a lot of content as well and post it all on your LinkedIn. That's huge. Almost no other company do you see the face of the company actually putting themselves out there and making this content and being informative and teaching you happily. And that's something that I think that you do that has changed kind of the form of our content altogether versus every other company there is.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the company content's great, but I think the people want to see, the man behind the scenes, the person who put everything together. So I've always been fascinated by the top dog, in anything, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like die to like try to find like old Steve Jobs clips of him like talking back in the day.
Yeah.
Alex Hormozy brought up a great point, and he said the reason why he puts out as much content as he does is like for people like me, because he said when he was growing up, like he wishes that like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and all those guys like just recorded their lowest of the lows and then to the highest of the highs and recorded their whole entrepreneurial process. So he said that's exactly what he wanted to do for upcoming entrepreneurs like myself. So I think that's a really cool way to think about it. And he doesn't like watch other people's content and like thinks of ideas. Like he's just really like, I went through this problem today, I'm gonna talk about it. I got into this tiff with an employee, like I'm gonna talk about it. Like we implemented a new program today, I'm gonna talk about it. And like that's just like what his content is. It's real, it's raw, it's just literally his business on a day-to-day basis. And if you follow him from the jump like 4 or 5 years ago, it's literally like his come up. It's like insane. It's really cool.
Yeah. And as you said, like it helps bring in that new audience because you can who wants to hear from like your average salesman? Like, oh, okay, I'll be a salesman. But like, you know, you watch the CEO of things do things, and it's like, I want to be a CEO. Like that guy's cool. You know, like
Even
I
the
want to be
salesmen
like
want to watch the CEO from other
yeah,
companies.
exactly. Yeah, you know, like I don't know if I meant to mean anyone in that previous statement, but yeah, you know, like seeing like a CEO put out, like I just said with Alex, you know, with your content, like this is how I did this, you know, and people who are just turning, you know, business opening age, like okay, you know, if I watch this guy's videos,
That's the key in content, not to cut you off. This is how I did this, not
Yeah.
this is how you do this. This is how I did this.
Yes.
People want to know how you did it.
yeah, because they'd be like, oh, you know, like this is how you do this, and it's like okay, but like how many people do it that way, and like
Yeah.
what's the
And did
success
you
rate?
even do it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the thing about like what Hormozy, he said another thing that like really resonated with me and like had me like in between like if I should start putting out content or not. And I think it's why I haven't gone like the craziest hardest with it just yet. It's just because like in order to talk about it, you got to live it, you got to do it. You know, like he's literally built and exited 2 9-figure companies.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet. You know, he sold a company for $45 million. He sold another one for like
You're not going to do that.
60. Well, I'm definitely not doing that. But I'm gonna scale a 9-figure company. I ain't
You're not
se-
leaving.
I ain't
You're not
sell-
fucking
I ain't
leaving.
selling this
You ain't
shit.
leaving.
I wouldn't do it, bro. You could hand me $1 trillion gazillion dollars. You can make me the richest man in the world. I wouldn't do it. That's how much like belief I just have in like myself and my team to get the job done for us to be the most successful company inside of the world. Truly believe that. Can't buy me out. Someone do it.
It's not happening.
I
dare
really-
you.
I literally just dare you. Like put as much money in the world as possible in front of me. But yeah, so like he was like, well, I wanted to put out content, but I almost felt like a phony because like I haven't done it yet. But then he's like, once I exited out of my company and I went through all the trials and tribulations, you know, from growing a non-existing gym into this empire of just gym acquisitions, he's like, now I felt like I was poised and ready to actually speak to people about it. I'm not actually a phony. So I feel like now I'm at that point where like, you know, we have 46 employees. We're in a 10,000 square foot office. We're an 8-figure company. I work 100 hours a week. You know, like I've definitely learned and grown and went through a lot of trials and tribulations, had like 7 or 8 failing businesses, lost it all, made it back like 3-4 times over. So I think I'm pretty qualified at this point, you know.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
And there's people who are higher than me, but I'm just gonna keep striving to get to their level, and you know, hopefully I could even just become more educational, informative, and every single day I improve upon myself to get to that level. So
But that's the thing; those people higher than you, are they putting out content? You
No.
know, they're not.
They're not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
not.
I consider you a great guy for doing that. You know, like yes, like it helps out your brand, but like you're a man of the people. You know, and like
Huge man
that's
of the
you know,
people.
like Alex. You know, you're just a man of the people. You know, you're like as we said before, this is how I did it. You know, like this is how you can do it too. Maybe not exactly the way I do it, but throw your own spin on it. You know, like it doesn't have to be my playbook, but you know, just learn how the playbook works.
Yeah.
You know, and those kind of things will help you will help you get up and.
And it's
I took a sip and I feel like something went down my throat. It's weird. Now I need another sip to wash it down.
But great thing too that I think it is for just the future of salesmen at Lexington. You know, when we first started, it was like, oh, who do we watch to learn? So you're watching your Belfords, you're watching this guy in real estate, you're watching this guy who does a completely different industry, and you're trying to put all the pieces together. In a very short period of time, eventually, you know, the salesmen are going to be just watching your videos because that's all the sauce that they need. It's exactly form fitted to their industry. Other people in other shops, they can watch you, they can learn how to do this correctly, how to do it properly, and how to do it really the Lexington way.
agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, I remember when we were sitting down like a year or so ago talking about that. You're like, "There's no guys in the industry." No, you're the guy in the industry. Dude.
Yeah.
You know, like you're the guy who 5 years from now, you know, because this is still a brand new industry. You know, it's so raw, it's so young that, as Tom said, you know, but like 5 years from now, you know, they're gonna look up to you, man. No one else is doing it. So it's like, you know, the frontiersman of the content.
Yeah.
You know, like you're the content king.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and that's why I'm doing it. You know, I it's definitely like it's not helping me out really in any way, shape, or form. You know, it's just taking time out of my day, and it's definitely frustrating, really. But like I'm just playing the long-term game with it, and I just think that it's gonna really help my employees. I think it's gonna help the industry. I think it's gonna put us on the map. It's gonna put Lexington more on the map, and I think it's gonna build our overall brand for a lot of the years to come. So I feel like I'm taking a step back, but I know that, you know, it'll allow us to go 10 steps forward.
Yeah.
Do you picture yourself continuing to put out the content like Hormozy does, or do you picture, because I mean your time is extremely valuable, and it's amazing that you put out the amount of content that you do, but do you think that you'll eventually hire somebody whose job it is to just be a face and put out content? Like I feel like I don't know too much about it, but I know Sean Murray puts out a ton of content, and I feel like to the best of my knowledge that's his job. It's his job to put out content.
Yes. He owns the media company D-Bank. The way that I see it happening is I'm going to hire somebody to fully do our content. Like he's going to do all of my content, and He's just like, boom, Frankie, that's what you're talking about this day, this day, this day.
Still do your content.
And it's still mine, but it's just like I could just get up out of my desk for like 5 minutes, record, and it's like, boom, I'm back to my seat. Because right now, like, I'm thinking of the topics. I'm thinking of what to say. I got to find the time to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want it to be fully done for me. And eventually one day it will be worth the salary to do that. Right now, it's just not fully worth that. And then on top of it, I want to have like a team of like 5 to do exactly that, but for all of our employees, that all of our employees to start building their own personal brands is like my ultimate goal with like our branding. Like one day, I think within like probably like 3 years is like a realistic timeline for like everybody to build their own brand. I think we should build the companies first, mine first, and then once we have a lot of and we've ROI'd off that and we have a lot of extra marketing dollars and budgets, I think that's when we start really going hard on your guys' brand, because I just think like that's just the way to go. Like Andy Elliott's guys, all of them, they're so huge into content, dude, and like I swear to God, like they have to pay someone to do it, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way that like Corey has time to sit here and produce his own content and to post it and to do this and to do that. Nor does he have the skills to do that. No offense, Corey, but you couldn't do that. You know, Appio's the only one who can sit here and do that because he's done it. But like it's like not easy, dude. Like you have to put some time and effort into it, and all of his people put out content. So I'm pretty sure he's hired people to do it, and that's what's like inspired me.
That's a really, really good idea. I actually never really.
That's a great idea.
I've never thought of that extending past to
Bro,
each
all of his
individual.
sales reps have like 5,000 plus followers on like IG, dude.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they're coaches for business owners. So like they need, you know what I mean? That's what business is going towards. It's going towards like the content creation game. So I'm sure he's like sitting there every meeting like, produce content, build your own personal brand. It'll lead to more sales.
That's just gonna build an
What
empire.
exactly does Andy Elliott and them even do?
So they just coach businesses nowadays.
coach businesses
They coach
on
businesses,
business
yeah.
consulting.
Yes, exactly. Like it used to be. It's mostly sales, but yeah, like anything you need with your business, growing your business,
Didn't
a
know
new
that.
sales pitch. What it used to be just for car businesses, but now they do everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a great
it's growing
example.
Gotta be a
nine-figure
dog.
company.
He's a great example of content. I mean, I see him everywhere.
Yeah,
I
dude, the
love
guy's
his
like
content.
freaking 40 years
Everywhere.
old and
Love
puts
it.
out content. You know, you're never too old or young to put out content.
Him and his wife, just like
Yeah.
Ramosi and his wife.
Yeah, it's funny too. Andy Elliott, in one of his videos, he said, "Yeah, when I first made my first Facebook post, he's like, I did it on my wife's Facebook.
Yeah, I
'cause
saw that.
because she had followers already, and like I just changed her profile picture to mine. I changed the name from Jacqueline Elliott to Andy Elliott. He's like, 'cause she already had followers and stuff. So he's that was the way to go.
Genius.
Yeah, genius. Yeah, genius.
People
And
buy
that's how he
pages all the
started.
time. People buy TikToks,
Yeah.
Instagram pages all the
Yeah.
time with 1 million plus followers.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start off right
Yeah,
there.
with your wife's Facebook.
It's so funny.
One thing cool that they both do is that they brand other things within their content. Like, you know, you'll always catch a video with them with their nose strips on.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that they both have one. Andy, I know you got that from Alex, but you know, like that's just something else that they do. Like that brands them. Like, okay, I have this company that I'm talking about, but I have this other company that's right here while I'm talking about my main company. They won't bring up the nose strip, but it's there the whole time, and you're freaking staring at it.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's just another cool thing about content is that, you know, you could cross market while you're doing other things.
It's
you
true.
know, like, hey guys, this is how you build a gym, but also look at my nose strip. You know, like he just made a sale by posting the video of him with his nose strips on.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, like our company, for all we know, could be like a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like we could have, because that's what the hostage tape is. They're just paying Andy Elliott and Hormozy to wear that shit, and
Yeah.
so they get sales because they're now big time people and influencers. So who's to say someone won't come to Lexington and be like, "What's McGregor's brand?"
Oh,
Proper 12.
Proper
12.
12, yeah, he'll throw a proper 12 down in our videos. Tom and him become buddy. You know? That's a proper 12 bottle, and McGregor gets some sales because of the Lexonites.
I hope you're hearing this, McGregor.
You never,
We'll help
really,
you out,
you never
McGregor.
really know. Hormozy, in most of his videos, he has his 2 books that he's published, like in every
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
They're just like, he doesn't even like keep them up. Like it's not like standing like this. Like he'll like keep them down. Sorry. He'll like keep them down like this, like just simultaneously. Like you gotta like kind of like look at it. But like
Yeah.
if you know him and you know the books,
Subliminal.
like you know the color of the books because they're blue and purple. Like you're like, oh, those are his books.
Yeah, as Appio said, subliminal. Like it's like making you like look down, like while you're looking. I'm like, what's that book say?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's so cool about content. You know, like you can do so many things within it and just build so crazy. You know?
I have a great point. So, back in the day, like not back in the day, but like up until like 1 or 2 years ago, like any big company that was made like was just through like a big large corporation, just through like years and years and years of just brute forcing your way to like success. Like for instance, like Pepsi, like their first year they sold like 12 bottles, dude.
Oh my God.
And now they're like the sugar water of the century. You know what I mean? Logan Paul comes out with Prime, and just because he's an influencer and because he has a brand, Prime is, I agree. Boo. But
Boo
Prime
to
is
Gatorade.
putting Gatorade and all these other guys out of business, dude.
Crazy
Proper
sponsorships.
12, all because Conor McGregor has a big brand. Dwayne the Rock Johnson with all of his whiskey.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, dude, is a billionaire.
I mean,
An actor turned to a billionaire, dude, only because not from acting,
gin.
From gin, yes, and he has like one or two. He has a
Mint
marketing
Mobile.
company.
Mint Mobile.
Mint
He
Mobile.
bought a soccer team.
Exactly. So like now it's even easier to like become like a millionaire or
Casamigos
billionaire from building a brand because now they like
who.
you don't have to be a famous actor, singer, dancer, celebrity, politician now to make money for people to want to endorse you, dude. You can make freaking YouTube videos starting at the age of 12, get big by the time you're 18, like Mr. Beast. Look at his chocolate bars, dude.
Yeah.
They
my
get sold
God.
out of Walmart, dude, like the day they get put there.
Yep.
It's just because of his name and his brand.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a different world that we live in, and that's why one video could just change the trajectory of your company. One little thing could blow you up.
The algorithms are weird, you know, like they can help you, you know.
Dude, they're weird. I
It's
mean,
an amazing thing, though.
it took us like 2 months to crack like I don't know, like 200 YouTube subscribers. Like
Yeah.
as crazy as that sounds, and within a year we've been able to amass 100,000.
Yeah.
That's just growth. That's longevity. That just shows to show like one thing could really pop off.
Yeah, put in
and
the
just
work, put in the
really
effort.
just take off. Yeah.
Pretty much everything is kind of like a snowball effect in any way possible. You know, you start, like you said, you start one day, you just keep pushing, you start lighting fires everywhere, and before you know it, you have a bonfire, and
Yeah.
you just keep growing it.
Yeah.
Just keep growing it, baby.
Just keep growing that fire, baby.
Pyro.
One like side note thing, like earlier in the episode we talked like, oh, we never thought about being YouTubers, but I remember when we
We
back
did
in the
low-key.
day,
We did
yeah,
low-key.
we always
We
wanted,
did
yeah.
low-key.
So when we lived
No
in
boys.
the
BT.
yeah,
Oh.
BTV,
We
yeah.
went to the BT
Yeah, we were
boys.
talking about it. We were like doing silly things all summer, like, oh, like if we, you know, like let's learn how to like. Do
We
crazy
could have blew
things.
up back then. We were so
We
cool.
could.
We were so cool.
Especially with like that uptick trend of how
Yeah.
social, because that was almost 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
You know, like with that
That was the
crazy
time.
uptick.
I would've
yeah,
subbed.
Yeah, we were trying to be like the
Appreciate
Note
it.
Boys. You know, they're pretty cool guys. Shout out Happy Dad a little bit. You know, maybe sponsor us.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Full Sending It.
Always a big fan of Full Send, but
We full send
you know,
everything.
something like that, like we thought about it a couple years ago. Like we had some pretty cool stuff going on too, where
Yeah.
we could have made some great content, but
Yeah.
you know, we just didn't do it. And
Yeah.
now here we are doing it. We got a cool
Well, it
plaque.
takes freaking money too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah,
That type of
yeah.
content,
Yeah,
especially.
it takes money, you know. It ain't cheap.
Even back in the
To
day,
put out YouTube videos, you think it'd be free?
no.
Yeah.
It ain't free if you want to have a production style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when we
So.
started To Be Frank, you know, like that one, it was just, it was over. I mean, there was a reason why it ended quickly, but
Yeah.
you know,
Sorry.
like, sometimes you're just like not ready for something at that level.
Maybe it was meant to be.
I
It
think so.
was.
Maybe it was meant to be.
We'll bring it back later.
When we're like 80 and rich and like have
Yo.
nothing to do, I would love to just, for one, still do our podcast,
Yeah.
but then bring back To Be Frank,
Yeah.
and it's just like us just franking it out.
You know
I'm
what?
editing it
we'll,
again.
I'm
bring
gonna
on,
start-
we'll bring on the riches.
I'm starting the Appian way.
Frank and
I was
Rich.
just about to say, let's make it a golf podcast now. It'll be seasonal podcast. It
That'd
comes
be
out
cool.
for 4 months a year.
That'd be cool.
Remy, get ready on Saturdays. We're filming.
We should do a podcast of us golfing. I think that'd be a really good.
That would be funny.
That'd be a cool episode.
Especially with me, I've never actually fully golfed, like went on an actual
Yeah.
golf course and played, so I think that'd be really
You're gonna
hilarious.
love golfing with us.
I
We don't
know.
golf like your normal golfer.
No.
I know.
Unless we're with
I
the
love it
riches.
and hate it at
Yeah.
the same time.
As long as you're at like a Spring Lake, Rolling Oaks type of place, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time.
It's a lot of fun.
Just bring a ski mask or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
ready to run.
Give them a fake ID.
Fake, yes.
Give them a fake ID. Pay with cash.
Put someone else's card on. Yeah.
You're gonna be a devil on the golf course. Bring cash.
God.
Awesome.
So key takeaways. Hold on. Marketing versus sales.
What are you talking
Chicken
about?
or the egg?
What's the heavyweight matchup here?
Half full or half empty?
Oh, it's perspective.
It's all about
It's
perspective.
all
It's
about
relative.
perspective.
Fair enough.
They're one and the same. They're
Life's
best
all about
friends.
perspective.
They are best friends.
Sales and
true.
marketing are best friends.
Sales and marketing are absolutely best friends.
No, yeah.
Absolutely best friends.
Once in a while, they
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 touch.
clash.
they touch.
They touch.
They
touch
touch
tips.
tips.
They touch tips.
They touch tips.
Those dirty dogs.
That's great content
Those
right
are gonna be
there.
the dirtiest dogs in the office. Your sales guys and your marketing guys right
Yeah.
behind them.
Just different monsters.
You got to be a sick mother effer to be in sales, and you got to be sick to be in marketing.
It's funny the dynamic change you can see in different because I've been in a few different, but like the sales guys like here, like they're loud, they're up, the lights are on, they're going crazy, and you go into a marketing room and it's like dark, they're all like huddled, like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's the dogs and the cats.
yeah, yeah. Both crazy animals, but just different spectrum.
Yeah, it's true.
God.
It's true.
I know the clock's a ticking. I know the clock's a ticking. But one thing that I've realized that I find so interesting with today's, especially in our, I feel like we're phasing out of the cancel culture, but some ads are wildly raunchy. Just wild. Just like
So,
wild ads.
Those are based off your searches and your cookies.
Episode 45, ladies and gentlemen.
doing it to yourself, brother.
I do it all the time.
We're gonna cut that right
Someone
there.
had for toilet
Make sure you
paper
hit the
this
bell,
morning.
hit
It
the
was
button, do
wild.
that. Watch this video.
And produce content.
Produce content.
Have fun while you do it.
Great content
Leads to
leads to great clients.
which lead to
Great partnerships.
which
Okay.
lead to
Great affiliates.
and which lead to
Leads to sales.
Yes.
Which leads to profitable businesses.
Correct.
Which then leads to a great life.
Yes, sir.
Great
Yes,
life.
sir.
That's a great life.
Great life.
great life.
Great
and on
night.
that up,
Don't be a weenie. Although you might think weenies produce content, get over yourself.
Get out of your
And
comfort
produce
zone.
content.
yeah,
Have
just
fun.
produce the content.
eat
Take
nails for
that
breakfast.
step.
I was that judger
With
guy
no
back
milk.
in the
Yeah.
day. I was Aaron judging people all day long. But at the end of the day, you want to get your brand out there. You want people to know you. They got to see you. They got to see you. They got to see you. You got to be in their face. You know, it's me.
And I think I really
Del
do.
Lexington.
I think it's funny because for like 90% of my life, this is not at all how I was. Now I'm here just being.
Me too, man.
Funny.
I always thought I was gonna be that low key entrepreneur that was a billionaire that like people only found out about me because they looked up the Forbes list and like I think I'm gonna be the most popular one. You know,
It's funny how it
honestly.
changes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be the coolest one. Quick side note before we do this. Jeff Bezos started putting out content like of like the past year because Elon Musk is just like everyone loves Elon Musk because he puts out a lot of content and he's everywhere and everybody knows him. He's a household name. And if you haven't noticed, like Bezos is putting out a lot more stuff, like what he's doing, his like experiences like inside of business and stuff like that. I think he was probably getting some wrath from his PR team, being like, "Yo, like look at Musk right now, and like look at you.
Yeah.
He
You're
puts
getting
out content
cooked.
and you don't."
You're not
SpaceX is
reaching,
cooking
not
you.
reaching my algo, Bezo. Do better.
That's true.
Yeah.
I watch Musk.
I do watch Musk.
I watch
In
Musk.
Musk we trust.
Yeah.
All right, so
It
like
must
the
be
ad that I was
trust. I
seeing
like
the other
that.
day,
We're
right?
not talking about it.
Stop it.
After the episode thing. Anyway,
Thank you guys.
episode 45.
Thank you very
Great job,
much.
guys.
Yeah.
Great job.
We love you guys. Subscribe. We out.